Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our awesome waiting screen. Welcome to the International 4 Southeast Asian Qualifiers. Day 1 action, it continues now. It's Mineski, the pride of the Philippines, facing off against Scythe, the pride of Singapore. Scythe, the heavy favorites coming into this qualifier, but took one on the chin to first departure. That was an unexpected defeat for them, but still a team that has proved they can go deep into Southeast Asian tournaments, if not win them. Of course, I'm LD. I'm joined here by the one and only Basekip, our Southeast Asian expert. And Basekip, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. I am looking forward to this game. We've seen unpredictable performances, I think, from both of these two teams up until this point, but they've both had some pretty strong showings, so I'm looking forward to this match overall.
Yeah, of course, I'm rooting for Mineski here. We've placed a little wager. It will be a shot of Monster to the loser. And, well, Basekip chose the wrong horse. He chose Scythe, then he saw the draft. I still believe in Scythe. We both like Mineski's draft better. I do trust Scythe more in terms of late-game decision-making, so well, we'll see if it gets to that point.
Yeah, so as I mentioned for Scythe, they just needed to do at least something for Hana as far as setting him up for this off lane. So he's going to get a little bit of pooled regen, starts off with boots. They're just sitting by the tower right now so he can get a slightly better block.
There's actually a first blood ambush going on here for Mineski, though. This used to be the thing you can do in your own safe lane, but with the changes to creep equilibrium, the backstab comes from the off lane, and Ancient Apparition, total food if he gets caught by a Leech Seed. Morphling, not so much. Assuming he is taken wave form, he should be, or even if he is Morph, he should probably be fine, but let's see what Miracle's skilled. They're going to go in right now if they get off the Leech Seed. No, they're going to go for the Morphling. They'll try this first blood attempt. The Stomp's going to connect. Miracle melting quick, fast, and in a hurry. First blood on the big name. Well, that is not the start Miracle wanted, and I believe he had already taken Morph, so didn't have an easy way out of there.
Yeah, you pretty much always take Morph at level 1 in the fountain, redistribute your stats to give yourself easier last hitting, and then that's that. It's not, I don't think there's even a situation where you can say, oh, Miracle should have held his skill point on
Sometimes
Chibix.
You'll just reserve the skill point, but yeah, generally don't. And they're going to go right back in on Chibix here. This aggression from the Tramp Protector pick, diving for the kill in the Edge Apparition. He takes a double edge. He's still alive, but can run him down with these boots. That's 2 already for Mineski. Busyan! They're not done yet. Meanwhile, mid lane, Shadow Fiend is taking a ton of harassment, but should get his bottle online fairly soon. And, well, this is a matchup where Shadow Fiend, as long as he doesn't play too cocky when the Panda gets level 6, can free farm pretty much. We talked about them needing to roam and pressure him early. Ideally, Rubik was supposed to be the hero that did that, but giving up these kills top is really going to relieve the pressure on Jay.
Yeah, this is just such a nice way to keep the Scythe supports pinned down. And Mineski, I think they could honestly just stay up here if they wanted to, but Gio and O are just going to go for a smoke here and look to see what else they can accomplish.
I do like the way
freedom.
He might be in a good position to reveal this smoke. Let's see who's going to get caught. Is there a Radiant Observer Ward spot him out? No. They'll find X Freedom now. Disruption. This is going to set up an easy Leech Seed. Palazzo will try to come in. Clap from the low ground. It ain't going to happen. Well, he's going to head down, but that's another kill going the way of Mineski. Maybe the turnaround for Palazzo. No, Living Armor keeps him alive. He's got the raises. He's got the angle. He gets wrecked 4-0. What a disaster. Somebody might have a shot of Monster for himself in the very near future.
Oh, boy.
Mineski comes out swinging.
What a nice start for Mineski. Scythe just didn't really have any other ways to configure their lanes. They were really predictable. And Mineski just thought, well, okay, Weaver's pretty damn good against Elder Titan 1v1. ET only started off with 2 pulled tangos, so that was going to be a pretty awful lane for him from the word go. And
the good news is at least he's getting level. Since they went aggressive tri-lane, the downside is that Hana actually gets something out of the lane, where he could have been totally shut down. Still, obviously, a good trade for Mineski, but there's a slight silver lining here for Scythe, and despite giving up the first blood, Miracle is sitting at 15-2, so it's not quite as grim as it looks for Scythe, but the momentum is in Mineski's favor, and the big concern is these supports. If they just continue to get picked off, they are going to be total food for the Centaur in the mid-game with a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, and if Miracle's going to win this game, it almost exclusively has to be through split pushing. I'm just not sure if he can turn up the team fights. We already talked about how fantastic the Shadow Demon is going to be up against the Morphling, but as well with all the minus armor from the Shadow Fiend and presumably a Desolator coming out from the Weaver at some point, I feel like the Morphling is just going to be a little bit of a punching bag. So I guess that does put Miracle into, well, force him into playing a pretty familiar style, but Scythe, that puts a lot of pressure on the Ancient Apparition and the Elder Titan to get their core levels and just be ready to spam things down.
Man,
as
already
the pushes
Tranquil
arrive.
Boots on the Centaur. He is just not an easy kill at this point. They will wrap around bottom. There's an Observer Ward here, but they still get off the disruption. He had a ward. I'm not sure if they smoke for this one. Hana gets slowed down by the Leech Seed, dove towards the tower. They'll keep on just smacking away, and 5-0. Did they smoke for
They
that?
smoked
Okay.
again. They picked up another smoke on the Train Protector
Okay.
there.
I was gonna say that was some questionable map awareness otherwise, but yeah, it's a nice kill. I like the way they're running the Shadow Demon tree. We've heard Fear talk about a lot and how EG plays the hero. Well, hold that thought. We might have an engagement top river. Chipix runs in. He's just gonna tank a double-edged stomp combination to the face. Then he gets raised. What was that? He could have just retreated up the hill. Jay will miss on the second raise. That was... What is going on here with Scythe? Base kip.
I think he missed micro there. Honestly, I
Like
think
trying
he,
to control the courier
Yeah,
or
no,
something?
no. I think he was. So he just picked up the illusion rune, and I think he was trying to send the illusions and then move
Ah,
his hero
Delta-
as well.
Okay, send them scouting while he retreats
but he
his
just
hero.
selected all three and then moved all of them towards the Centaur. So gets stomped, gets cleaned up, and 6-0 out of the gate. Sub 5 minutes in for Mineski. This is just an absolutely amazing start from them. Oh my God.
Oh,
PC crash.
Philippines. Please. Can we get some Google Fiber in the Philippines?
Well,
Is that possible?
It doesn't even sound like it's an internet connection problem. It sounds like they're computers. So I think we gotta call out the sponsors. Where are the?
Yeah,
Where are the
Gigabyte, please. I can't call it Gigabyte too hard because they have done a lot to grow the competitive gaming scene in Southeast Asia. I would say more than any other company, but I would like to see this game get played in a timely fashion
That would be good.
and also with some momentum.
Well, it could be a fast game with the way that things are playing out.
Scythe are a
so
very
far.
strong turtling lineup if they can just get level 6 on each apparition, say level 7 or 8 on Elder Titan, and have Panda ult. But the concern is going to be if it turns into a 5v1 game where 4 heroes are trapped in the base. Yeah, Morphling can split push, but then they just get double might as Shadow Fiend Weaver, free farm, and eventually have 4 or 5 farmed heroes against just a Morphling.
Yeah, and I feel like the problem with the Brewmaster pickup here is that this is not a Brewmaster pickup where you've taken the Brewmaster, you're going to be using him to win mid-game team fights, and you're looking to close the game out before that period where he falls off around 35, 40 minutes, where the enemy team's carries have BKBs. The ultimate just isn't really as powerful as it is in the early to mid-game, and yeah, I think that's the biggest problem for them here. The Brewmaster is just going to buy space for the Morphling as far as a win is concerned. I don't see them pulling everything together and getting some 5-man going and starting to win a whole bunch of fights with the Brewmaster and closing the game out quickly.
The other thing is just the lane they drafted him into. Brewmaster, yeah, not going to die against Shadow Fiend generally if he plays it well, but Shadow Fiend doesn't care about your evasion. He just spams down the wave. If you walk close to the creeps, you get nuked, and end of the day, he might have a slightly slow start in the first few waves, but it's really where they would have loved to send Rubik, Ancient Apparition, smoke ganking mid around like the 4 or 5 minute mark, but with the start they've had, they will be focusing on getting their levels. And maybe they try to go mid, but now you try to dive the Shadow Fiend, they already have, I think, at least level 2 living armor. Probably the Shadow Demon will be carrying a TP scroll, and yeah, it's just going to be a very difficult kill attempt.
Yeah, and I love that Mineski kind of hedged their bets as well. They made their way up here, they placed this ward, it doesn't block the camp, it's pretty much strictly here just to know where the supports are and if they're ganking the Shadow Fiend. So had that first couple of minutes not gone so well top lane, had the support somehow sniffed out the gank, had they somehow, known what was going on, well, they didn't need those kills for everything to go well. Otherwise, they would have known if the supports had been free to go and deal with the Shadow Fiend. So I think just really smart play overall from Mineski up until this point. And Oa and Geo showing their experience as a support duo. They've been playing together for a really long time, and it really shows in their play.
We had Fear. I had a chance to cast with Fear on day 1. He talked a lot about how Shadow Demon Treant and how some teams don't seem to understand how the hero works, especially the tree. And basically said there's one of 2 reasons that you pick it. Either you just want to crush the laning stage, or you pick the hero to just defend towers and basically play a war of attrition and come out on top. And Mineski have chosen the former route, but that's ideal. He's so strong at level 1. You get boots, you have a point in Leech Seed, it's like a guarantee kill. And unlike a hero like Venomancer, I mean, not only does he do more damage with the Leech Seed and the right clicks, but he's also a lot harder to kill. So I really like the way they've been using the tree, and I think it shows that they've actually done their research and not just blindly copied a draft without studying the actual thought behind it.
He's also good for the latter point here. I think Mineski, as far as late game team fighting is concerned, we're talking Shadow Fiend, Centaur, and Weaver, all fantastic late game heroes.
Oh yeah,
in their own rights.
And I'd say like
the Dream Protector's going to slow things down for them.
And a lot of these heroes match up really well against Morphling late game. Double Edge crushes him, especially if he goes E-Blade. Shadow Fiend's got a lot of nuke damage, and Soul Catcher, which you mentioned, and the Disruption Purge combo. Doesn't matter how far on the Morphling is. Shadow Demon alone can somewhat deal with him.
Yeah.
And looks like we are reconnecting here, guys. If you're just joining us, I believe we have 4 more games coming up on this stream. Maybe it's 5. It's a pretty packed day number. 3 more games after this one? Okay. We've got 4 games total, including this one. Next is going to be MVP versus Orange. What are you talking about, Roland? Oh, we're switching the schedule around. Okay. I'm getting... Oh, never mind. Forget it. Show the schedule. Show the schedule since you know what it is. Do your job as a producer, man. That's what we have a lower third for.
Uh-oh.
So this is Scythe versus Mineski. Then coming up with Scythe versus Myth, Arrow versus Orange. I think that's the match I'm most interested in. Arrow, DDZ's been making waves with his Invoker, even attracting a lot of love from the Western fans. And then Scythe versus RQ, so a heavy dose of Scythe. But Scythe, this could be their second loss, and a lot of people would have expected them maybe to drop 1 game the whole group stage.
Yeah, and I mean, Arrow kind of picking up that mantle as far as the top spot is concerned, but it just goes to show
it's still
how
early.
how very shaken up this qualifier could turn out to be overall.
The Mineski players have actually been boot camping, not in the Philippines. So
okay.
I'm not sure if all of them are there, but I'm a little surprised they're having so many connection issues considering that. They should have just gone to Singapore. I guess it's more expensive. A lot more expensive, but yeah, with that being said, guys, if you want to actually watch Dota right now, I'm sure we have some other games going on. You can head over to beyondthesummit.tv or twitch.tv/team/TI4NA, and the whole hub's humming away late into the night, burning the midnight oil. We've got, I believe, Cinderin and Sons fan casting in the, what are we calling that? The Penthouse?
Penthouse stream.
Yeah, we've got the couch cast going. I think it's RRQ versus Orange. And then also High Ground TV covering Arrow versus First Departure. So, First Departure, a bit of a spoiler so far, having taken the win off of Scythe, and obviously Arrow, like early on, looking like they might be the strongest team.
Yeah, and I think almost every matchup as far as this qualifier is concerned. I mean, we talked about how close everything is and how how many teams are in contention, but that just means that every match is important. It's really interesting to see how things are playing out, because the one word that we've been using is just unpredictability, and I think that goes that's definitely been the storyline as far as this qualifier.
Compared to the American qualifier, it's so much harder to just game plan against opponents because there's a much wider variety of styles. Oh, hold Jay. Not quite in range for the second raise. I think he needed one more right-click and a raise to get that kill, but, well, there's always the evasion to worry about. So, Bimbo will happily settle just for some free farm. Sitting at 28 and 10. Have you seen the Shadow Fiend recently? Does he favor the Midas build? He went Midas Doom last game. So, it seems like Mineski has been favoring slightly more of a... Well, I guess not. They'll go Treads here.
Yeah, I mean...
Could go back for Midas still.
Yeah, the Midas is definitely a farm accelerator for the Shadow Fiend, but I think in the long run, especially just because they have the Stream Protector, the Tier 1 towers are going to stay up long enough that he's just going to be able to exploit the jungle during the mid-game for farm. So while the Midas would be okay, I don't know if it would have made that much of an overall difference in terms of item progression.
Yeah, you also don't necessarily want to go double Midas, because yeah, Scythe are behind right now, but if you have Shadow Fiend Weaver running around with no BKBs in the mid-game, then it could really... It means that you could be food. Jesse Vash, though, has found a haster, and he's going to start without double edge. Now we'll look for the stomp follow-up. Running in, running out. The stomp will connect. It's just going to take 2 more right clicks here. And X Freedom, nowhere to go, but back to the well. Easy kill.
Yeah, nice that he started with the double edge. If Health had arrived, he would have just been able to get that double edge back off cooldown, loop around, find the Rubik a second time, and just tank him with the double edge. So Jesse picks up that kill. Mineski 7 and 0 so far. Everything is just going their way, and
they do have the Panda ult here, and that potentially could be a kill in Shadow Fiend, though there is a high ground ward for the Radiant side, so they're going to see any move towards that mid lane unless they smoke. And, well, in the end it'll be Jesse Vash who finds Chibix in the woods. He's level 2! Jesse Vash is going hard. He'll start with a double edge. That's half his health instantly.
Tranquil Boots aren't even broken. He's just going to regen that life immediately. Jesse Vash is being such a huge nuisance.
The change
right
to
now.
Tranquil Boots, while it hurt some heroes, was just such a huge improvement for that one.
Ultimate used mid.
Bimbo just underestimating perhaps the Panda. The Fire Panda going to deal with the Living Armor very quickly, and I'm really not sure why he even was getting near the Panda. You should be hiding behind your tower unless you have a Shadow Demon ready to TP in, but wasn't there. So the first Panda ult is a success, and that will slow down his farm, and despite the bad start, Miracle leading in terms of CS.
Yeah, and looks like we're not going to be seeing a single Midas this game.
I hear a double edge top lane, but
just a little bit of damage on Miracle. There's nobody else in the neighborhood. It's just the 1v1.
And now mid, it looks like the actual breakout. They'll go with the disruption here. They find Poisson. He doesn't have that Panda ult. Will be... makes it out. Nothing to cancel the TP. No overgrowth. Actually, they don't have a whole lot. Meanwhile, top lane Centaur dropping very low, being pursued out by Miracle. Can he give him the double edge? It's not enough for the kill. Waveform, I believe, about to cool down. He shoots. He does not score. Miracle, a little bit short there on the range. Jesse is going. Oh, he's going. Is he going in?
No way.
Jesse, please.
That was very strange.
Despite the great start, Mineski, this is not an overwhelming lead by any stretch of the imagination. Didn't go for the Midases. Giving up kills is quite costly as a result. They do not have something to make up for those deaths. They haven't actually stacked the jungle much for the Shadow Fiend. The support's mostly focusing on roaming, so well, they have a single double stack here, but 8.5 minutes and nothing too impressive. And well, they really, if they want to go for this more mid-game oriented style, gotta just farm the BKB on Shadow Fiend, play it safe, and not take unnecessary risks.
Yeah, the timing will basically be, I guess if they're just going for the early to mid-game style, like you said, BKB on the Shadow Fiend, Blink Dagger on the Centaur, make a little bit of space for the Weaver. He's still going to be picking up a Lincoln Sphere.
Could be a smoke gank mid. Yeah, basically just getting like that first big item on each of their core heroes.
Yeah, I don't know why you fight into the Brewmaster timing. So anyway, Brewmaster going to get jumped.
Oh, nice lift by the Rubik, but there's still the double raise available. He's got Soul Catcher on him. It's not enough. He'll get out in the end. Good rotation from Scythe. Forces out 2 TPs, but well worth it to keep the Brewmaster alive, because him getting Blink, that is their only initiation, so they cannot afford to let him die anymore.
Yeah, they need this Brewmaster to do alright, because the Brewmaster is almost... needs to do a lot just to make sure that the Elder Titan's progression stays on track. Like you mentioned, he did alright in the early game, just because they kind of left him alone against the Weaver, but alright in this case is 14 CS, so... not the most impressive from the ET here, but we knew he was going to be in for a tough time from the first
this
start.
could be bad. There is a Centaur cooling down. That is so annoying.
Yeah, you gotta just give him a slap in return. Break those Tranquil Boots. Don't let him get away with it.
Oh, Midas is the choice. So they'll go for one. I kind of like not going for both. It means Bimbo can be more of their hard carry late game. Or are they going for 2? No, okay, it's just on the courier for Bimbo. But yeah, the Weaver will still farm nicely, and he can basically create space for the Shadow Fiend. He can run around with the Centaur, join the team fights, and kind of secure the mid game while the Shadow Fiend looks to take it late. And late game Shadow Fiend will do pretty well against the Morphling with the Shadow Demon backing him up.
Yeah, the Midas is also nice if he chooses to go for an item that means that he can start moving around a little bit. I know we don't see a whole lot of it, but maybe something like a Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger, if that's the kind of style that Jay favors, then the Midas helps keep him up in terms of farm, even if he's not spending a whole lot of time just cycling through the jungle, though. That might not even necessarily be the choice here. Again, it is just another nice farm accelerator for the Shadow Fiend, and all of these towers are still up for them, so I think it's going to pay off.
Jesse Vash doesn't have anything to eat through the trees here, but he is pinning it out. Does he have vision on Chibix? Well, not 100% sure, but he seems to know his general vicinity.
Oh, there's a replicate here.
Not feeling too comfortable. The Swarm will come in. Is he going to go on the illusion? He does! And, well, that wasn't the hero. Nicely baited by Miracle. And now, well, they'll just be happy to dodge a gank, basically. Jesse Vash out of mana. Can't really threaten for a kill until he goes Fountain. In fact, they might try to go on... I don't think they can really dive this. But suddenly, 5 heroes top. Scythe won a 5-man. They do have Panda ult. No Blink yet. They're just going to try and force the issue at the tower where there'll be a TP in from the Weaver. And we did talk a bit about this. Scythe has very little lockdown for this Weaver. It's Boulder Toss and it's Lift. So killing him, quite the challenge. But they're going to push the tower. And I like tower trades for Scythe right now. I don't really think they're particularly well equipped to take fights. So this is not a bad option.
Yeah, definitely not. And actually, Mineski going to back away from mid. So our Scythe going to get this one for free.
Yeah, they're like not really defending top, and living armor not going to be enough. They'll throw out some shadow poison, going for the last hit deny. They disrupt the Brewmaster. The deny's not there, and now Polisson racing forward. Though I think they'll just be happy to take a tier 1 for nil. That was a weird play by Mineski. They're like, we'll push mid. Oh wait, never mind, we can't, and then just lost the tower.
Yeah, I feel like the decision was, oh hey, if we hold onto the tower even on a sliver of HP, then we top it off with a Dream Protector. And then the damage that we got mid actually ends up being a worthwhile trade overall. But
just need to commit a little more to defending the tower.
Yeah, and if you think about the value of the tower, this offlane tier 1 for the Radiant just isn't really worth a heck of a lot. Yes, opening up top lane is pretty important for Scythe because late game split pushing with the Morphling and opening up Roshan is going to be pretty important, but that's still a ways away.
It also does give Brew his blink though, and I'd say like a minute and a half, 2 minutes earlier than expected. So. Do they have a Centaur blink yet? They should be close. And 400 gold off. But you should have it fairly soon. Actually, if you're Scythe right here, this is a great time to go gank Jesse Vash. Get a kill on him with the Panda ult, you can maybe push that safe lane tower. That is an important tower for Mineski, and, well, you also delay the blink in the process.
Yeah, and Miracle, I think, has his Lincoln Sphere. Yeah, now has his Lincoln Sphere completed, so he's going to be able to spam waveform pretty freely to start picking up some farms, so it is a farm accelerator for him as well, and the split push can now kind of just begin.
And both the Weaver and the Morphling are pretty much invulnerable with Lincoln Sphere through the mid game. It's very difficult to chunk them down with that. There's not a whole lot of lockdown.
Yeah, the biggest thing is that it changes it to being like a 4-man gank just to get the kill. Brewmaster ultimate use mid.
Wow. Every Brewmaster ult seems to be a nice kill on the Shadow Fiend. The Disruption will dodge everything though. The Earth Splitter, a lot of damage. Now he turns around, he starts raising these Brewlings and might actually kill off the Fire Panda. He will do so. Don't think they can kill off the Earth Panda as well. What was stolen here? It's just a leech seed. It looks like Panda comes in again. The Raise will miss. Then they'll toss him down to the low ground. He pops in a cloud of Black Souls, and now Scythe maybe look to push mid, but another death for Bimbo. Still your lead farmer, but imagine how much farther ahead he could be if he just had played a bit safer this game.
I just really like that Miracle turned up there. I don't know if they needed him 100% for the kill, but it prevented them from having to chase a little bit further, ending up in a in a slightly messier engagement, and there wasn't a whole lot that he could have accomplished by sticking around top. So I think just a really nice read from him in terms of how things were playing out and what kind of opportunities they had on the mid lane.
They also get to do some dewarding on the back of this, so they get some map control going their way again, and well, there's the Jesse Vash Blink Dagger. This could be a very easy kill bottom, though. He does have a point booster. The Stomp comes out. He's got a double edge to follow this up. The ult on cooldown. He needs like 2 more right clicks to get the kill. He does. Can he make it out safely, Chibix? Well, not able to do anything in return. So nice play by Jesse Vash. That was not the easiest kill, though. That point booster almost turned it.
Yeah. Well, get something out of the Blink Dagger immediately, which is really nice for Jesse. Kind of continues just how well this game has gone for him up until this point.
Considering this game started 5-1, and they got first blood, this is not a very big lead at all for Mineski.
No, definitely not. I mean, it was a little bit odd, I think, from Mineski. They seemed a tiny bit indecisive about whether or not, okay, do we just take this lead and run with it, or do we say, okay, this is a nice springboard for us as far as the overall game is concerned, and we're just going to play a little bit greedy and use that as a nice start. And
oh man, that's a double damage run up on Colosseum, but there's no Panda ultimate. He jumps in, he's going to get caught by the Requiem. He should go down to a double edge. Indeed he will. I think he slightly overestimated the damage he could do with the automatic crit there, as well as the double damage rune. Living armor too strong.
Yeah, it just ends up going down for absolutely no trade in favor of Scythe. Miracle can get a little bit of damage on the tier 2 top lane, but that's about it.
And Scythe, this is starting to shape up to the point where if they give up a few more kills, Shadowing it to BKB, they will be very limited in their ability to take team fights. And they will have to rely on Miracle at that point to control the game. Split push, not die, and rat it up. Which, to be fair, Mineski don't have the best lineup to stop that, so I think they're still in okay shape, but some unnecessary deaths, really from both teams. It's been a bit of a sloppy game, as much as I'd love to say it's been flawless from either. It's far from that.
Yeah, but Scythe looking to make a little bit more space. They're actually, it's not so much space creation, it's just sticking behind Miracle at the moment.
And just fighting when Panda ults up. This is when they should be looking to get aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. And
Weaver is not the hero you want to go on, though. I believe he has completed his Lincoln Sphere. And also Shadow Fiend BKB. This could be very dangerous for Scythe. Diving this tower for a Weaver of all heroes? That's tricky.
Okay, so the Shadow Fiend's already there. Tree's got the living armor. There's a, tower's topped off.
Did Polisong get spotted? The smoke the smoke wore off, it looks like, but not sure if they actually saw him. Now Polisong starting to drive the tower. The replicate will come and he BKB'd just for that. That's your 10-second BKB, completely wasted by Bimbo.
Back off, wait for that to fade, and then just take the tower. I really think that Mineski should consider, I don't know, maybe just go TP to the other lanes, pressure out that, get a little bit of damage on the tier 1 top. Without the SF BKB, this could be a very difficult fight. Good execution could still prevail, but that's a whole lot of his net worth that's just not really contributing anything to this.
And they have so much just nuke damage, lockdown, crowd control if you don't have BKB. Like, it's very risky to fight now. At the same time, Scythe, sure, if they can find an opening, they'll have a good shot in the fight, but they can't really pressure the tower that well. These heroes don't push particularly effectively, and it seems Mineski will just try and spam out the waves and wait it out until the BKB comes off cooldown.
See, I think Jay is making the right call. He's just wandering away, gonna maybe go farm some Ancients, go farm out
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, he's just kind of leaving his team to handle it at the moment. But Scythe aren't really forcing the issue either. Looks like they think that the BKB being down is not enough of an advantage to force this tower. So, they come down to the bottom lane, they beat their chest a little bit.
Centaur gets deployed, and it looks like they will jump in. They look for the Ancient Apparition here. I believe Double Edge was just stolen, and, well, they're not going to find Chibix just yet. The Lincoln Sphere gets broken. He comes in with the clap. They blow him up. What a combination. That was a surprising amount of burst damage. That Elder Titan aura doing work.
Yeah, no joke for sure. And now Mineski, a couple of heroes get pinned under the tower. It looks like the escape route is going to be the Nature's Guys, maybe.
But Bimbo has BKB. He's TPing, actually towards mid. This means there's no Shadow Fiend for the bottom fight. And he'll replicate in bottom lane. They're going to try and take an advantage here. No Shadow Fiend here. One hero dead as well. Centaur fishing for the Miracle Initiation, but it's the Shadow Demon who goes down first. Scythe Gaming finding the openings. Geo will be stunned up, but able to retreat. And Shadow Fiend on the move. Panda ult will end soon, but it looks like tier 1 in jeopardy. Can they defend this? Panda ult will fade, but who's gonna go in first here? Jesse Vash getting spotted out. He takes a crit. Where's that stomp? Doesn't use it yet. Now gets lifted, tossed back down onto the tree, stunning him as well. And tower dropping low, still alive. They've isolated Miracle on the backside of the fight. He's out of mana. He bought a Ghost Scepter at the very least, but looks to be dead. That's a lot of focus, and they bring him down. Another nice H Apparition ult. Delivering X Freedom with the Stolen Sakuchi, trying to survive, but no, he's still alive. Go find him. One more right click. No mana. He will go down, and Mineski strike back. They've also bought back on the Centaur, looking to re-engage. The retreat out comes from the Panda. 3 heroes dead for the side of Scythe. This is probably a good one for a team fight recap. We'll see who truly came out top in that bloodbath. The tower was alive, though, and now can be healed up.
Yeah, so the tower damage ends up being irrelevant. Mineski going to pick up a tier 1 tower of their own. So, yeah, I think advantage Mineski after all said and done. And it looks like the team fight recap agrees.
Like you said, in looking back at it, very smart play from Bimbo. Waits for the BKB to cool down, split pushes, defends against the Morphling's push, and they defend the two key tier 1s. The tier 1 mid, the tier 1 bottom. Sure, they gave up that early top tower, but with these other 2 up, they can contest Roche pretty easily, and they can take fights where, frankly, I feel with BKB on Shadow Fiend, Scythe have a pretty low chance of winning the engage.
I'm just really afraid for Scythe that they feel scared when the Shadow Fiend BKB is down. With this kind of lineup, with the Brewmaster, with the Elder Titan, it almost, for things to be going well, they almost need to feel that, okay, SF BKB down, that's an advantage that we shouldn't have.
Let's go.
And we should be winning team fights anyway, so let's go. We have to make an attempt. But they play pretty conservatively. They let Mineski get away with waiting for a whole minute before forcing anything out there, and I think it ends up costing Scythe pretty big.
Well, top lane, it looks like the Morphling has joined the fight and goes on to orange. No, never mind, he replicated out. Are they going to try and head towards this Roshan? No?
Scythe look a little bit lost. They were like, oh, the game plan was to take that tier 1 tower bottom lane, but we lost the team fight, so what do we do now? I guess we just group up again and...
But they don't have mech yet. That's a key item for this lineup. And Tree actually is a Blink Dagger, and that is some scary counter-initiate.
Almost at the second point up in the Echo Stomp, so Elder Titan's impact hitting a little bit bigger there, but yeah, Mineski showing no fear. Everybody's just going to turn up mid.
Morphling's kind of a weird carry for the style. Like, if you want a 5-man with Elder Titan and Panda, feels like there's better choices. I mean, frankly, running a Shadow Fiend of your own with a BKB would be a lot scarier than a Morphling. No shotgun yet. Miracle not split pushing much. This is not what we're used to seeing out of them.
Yeah, and any of your BKB first carries, I think, could have done well in the Morphling
could be pretty effective here as well.
Yeah, something like Gyro, Luna, just anything along those lines. I
Oh,
think
what
fits
a
better.
nice stop. It's just a bit too far to go in. But that is the thing, is if Scythe does hit their combination, you get the Elder Titan Spirit down, then you throw at the Ancient Apparition ult, and then over the top of that you stomp, you Panic Clap. That is all the backline heroes dead for sure. So, despite being down, I think they were down like 7k in terms of net worth last time we looked at the net worth chart. It's still anybody's game.
Yeah, and I mean it is kind of similar to what we saw in that Zephyr game just before, in that you can always make the argument that Scythe are just absurdly difficult to push into, and maybe the Morphling can win the game in kind of forcing a base trade. I don't think he can win the game by becoming 6-slotted and trying to outcarry the SF and the Weaver. That's just not going to happen. But I mean, we were talking a little bit about it during the break that maybe there's a chance here for Scythe to drag it late, try and exploit the fact that Mineski's late game decision making can be a little bit shaky here and there. And Miracle, he's got those instincts, like you said, perfectly down to if he sees an opportunity for his team to cancel a bunch of TPs, take it through tier 3 and just go straight for tier 4s, he'll do it. So
Miracle's one of the younger top carry players out there, but I think he's more base race experienced than even someone like Burning, who's been playing competitive Dota for years longer than him, because it feels like every close game Miracle's had for the past year and a half has been a base race, and he's usually come out on top. And then you look at Mineski, again, like you said, not necessarily the best late game decision making, though. At times they do, like, it's not like they always make bad decisions, it's just sometimes they don't have their best performance. But overall, Cameron, what is your feelings about Scythe? Should they be looking to split push more? Game plan wise, they seem a little lost. Like, what should they be doing right now?
I think smoke, try and place some wards, try and find a pick-off, if at all possible. Vision is a really big problem for them. It's a big part of why they feel so bottled up.
Yeah, like, we talk about the Fog of War, they've got one ward, and they've already lost 3 tier 1s.
Yeah, so map control is a little bit of a problem for them. Though it's very easy to say, oh guys, just go for a smoke, play some wards, and do what you can, but it's much more difficult to execute, especially when Mineski are split pushing all the lanes at all times. It makes the ganks that much more obvious.
This freaking tree, man. They're just dropping sentries everywhere to try and deal with them. That's some value from the Nature's guys.
The rest of his skill set is so great, even with that Nature's Guys, and when you have players that use the Nature's Guys so well, and it forces the enemy team just to invest into buying sentries and dust and gems, that's a huge amount of extra value just gained from the Dream Protector.
You do not want to get in a farm race with a Shadow Fiend as Morphling, unless you're finding kills, or they're spending wasting a lot of time trying to gank you. Shadow Fiend goes Midas, he is going to out-farm you, like, pretty much guaranteed. The main advantage Morphling has is just that he's harder to kill. But well, Bimbo, despite the early deaths, is still way on top. 4k up in net worth. He's scary, man. Already has a Haste Rune, Butterfly online, and it's not like he's on his own. There's a Weaver in this game as well. Elder Titan could be the MVP, though. You can't underestimate that aura.
Yeah, definitely a huge factor as far as the late game is concerned.
Central gets to play the focus and pull us on here, and just look at him get chunked down. Bimbo going ham. Top lane. Weaver will continue to pressure, but yeah, the focus is really on bottom where, as Mott was pointing out, tower going down.
And the Weaver's dealing with the split push from the Morphling so well. He just turns up to the Morphling's lane, says, hey, how you doing, buddy? We're going to be keeping the lane right here for the next couple of minutes. I hope that's okay with you.
And you can't shotgun him. You've got to break the Lincolns, and that's either your Adaptive Strike or your E-Blade. Either way, he's not dying.
Yeah, and so Miracle's split push has really been slowed down. These tier 1 towers are still up. They're pretty much at full HP as well. And Scythe just falling further and further onto the back foot, and Brewmaster is so similar to Chen and a whole lot of other heroes in that when you're on the back foot, you're just in a really bad spot when it comes to the playstyle of those, those heroes.
Instant Shadow Fiend. Oh, Bimbo. Thinking about it, but showing some restraint here for now. They'll just push the wave out. Start to siege this mid tower. A bit, perhaps. No, they'll back off for now. But just looking at Scythe, it just feels like it's not a Scythe draft. Like, generally, this is a team that's comfortable in this situation. Yeah, down some kills, but able to split push and trade. Against Tree, they can't really trade. And with the Weaver able to counter the Morphling split push, and also with Mineski having arguably equally good, if not better, late game, it's just, it feels like it's awkward to see them in this situation and feel like they don't have the advantage. Because normally this is their bread and butter. Like, They're okay to lose the laning stage as long as Miracle free farmed, and he'll just at least make it close, if not win, in a late game scenario. But it doesn't feel like that kind of game.
Yeah, and Miracle needs Manta if he's going to 100 to 0 these towers. Like, it's just not going to happen at the moment. And like we said, if you don't finish off the tower completely, then it's just going to be healed straight back up.
They still have tier 1 mid and bottom against Miracle. Yeah. And, you know, it's almost... I say against Miracle, it's like... To me, it's like slightly like being against a Lycan, where you're just surprised if towers are up at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
but indeed they are.
I mean, he pushes the heroes to their limits, but there is still a limit there, even for...
He hasn't left his side of the map in like a solid, I feel like 10 minutes.
Well, he's tried,
yeah.
but the problem is that he's getting leashed back to his team a little bit whenever he doesn't have a replicate up and available. Like, that's a big reason why we saw him chilling out around that fight mid, because he knew that Mineski are in a position where they can force things, and that he needs to be ready at a moment's notice to be able to get things done. And I don't necessarily know if Miracle feels that safe right now. I mean, we saw what happened to the Brewmaster bottom lane. He's pretty tanky, but they just blew him up in the duration of a hoof stomp. So I think that's another big factor for Miracle. He wants that absolutely instant escape up whenever he's putting himself at risk.
Seems like maybe Scythe will have another kind of open window to force fights. Ag's coming soon on Brewmaster. I think Ancient Apparition Ags is fairly close at this point, potentially, and no, nowhere near. Okay.
Not happening just yet.
He had that really fast point booster, and I guess he's just been not finding farms since then. Well, never mind that. He's just poor and sad.
Poor Ancient Apparition. Yeah, he's not having the best time. That Brewmaster Ags is up, but it's not extra utility against BKB. It doesn't really help you deal with the Shadow
This Weaver may go
Fiend.
BKB. BKB Lincoln's is like, that's your classic Pinoy style Weaver. Not sure if we'll see it. Deso is a pretty strong choice as well. There will be, looks like it will be a Deso. But yeah, they can just they can just right-click the Fire Panda. It will die almost instantly to Weaver and Shadow Fiend. And potentially they can just kill the entire Panda split.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance of that happening. We're already starting to get towards the point where it's feeling like Brewmaster is really falling off. And another big factor in a Brewmaster doing well, if you're doing well and you're winning fights, you're probably picking up a couple of kills on the tail end, and you're getting that level 16 up just that little bit faster, but we've still only got the rank 2 Panda split up 30 minutes into the game here for Scythe.
Wow. Pinoy Dota base kip. Lincoln Shadow Fiend.
The Pinoy Sphere.
Yeah, the Pinoy Sphere.
It's up.
It's not awful, this game. I'm a little surprised. If you're worried about E-Blade, you can just get Manta. There's nothing... I guess you can block a Rubik Lift, but I think there's better choices, to be honest. Or even just forget about that and go like Satanic Daedalus.
Yeah, if you wanted to tank up, I think you could have just considered the Satanic, especially...
Or MKB against Brewmaster. That's the other big choice.
Yeah, and especially given that he still has such a long BKB duration available.
This is ballsy.
Oh, man.
And they're going to get it, too. Scythe, they went for a bit of a Roche sneak of their own, then were forced back, and Mineski smoking on the Radiant side. Cojones on this team, and they're going to take the Aegis, too.
They don't even have any idea necessarily where all of Scythe are, but they just they go for the gamble, and it pays off 100%.
Scythe are going to be like, wait, what? I thought that was our smoke to have. We're dire side. Mineski say, not today, my friends. Not today.
Well, Mineski just completely depriving Scythe of any way to get back into this game. They're not letting Miracle get away with his split push antics. They're making sure that they don't engage into any risky trades where you're making really rapid calls and Miracle is destroying your base. They're just taking it pretty slow, pretty steady. They identified, okay, hey, look, Scythe might consider taking a Roshan if they can. Let's just go beat them to it, and now things are looking absolutely fantastic for Mineski just to keep slow sieging down towers, keep dealing with the Miracle split push, and I don't know what Scythe can do at this point.
I think that's still the angle, though. Maybe, like, the main advantage you have with the Morphling is that he can be two places at once. Split push and join the fight. You force someone to TP out, then you take the fight with the Panda ult, with the Ancient Apparition, and with the Manta now being up, he split pushes pretty damn fast. Che just kind of laughs here as Miracle goes for a wimpy adaptive strike. Breaks the Lincoln Sphere, but not really doing much.
Yeah, and then just immediately replicates away. He doesn't want that man fight against the Shadow Fiend at the moment.
But yeah, I think that's their best play, is basically try and have more heroes at the main fight by taking advantage of replicate. Because outside of that, I don't really see what they can do.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know if they really have much of an alternative play. I guess the one thing to bring up is that as the Shadow Fiend and the Weaver get a little bit scary, you can potentially just make sure that you get a replicate of one of them during the fights and get
True.
a little bit of extra damage output, but it's not going to be a huge deal.
Disrupting
especially
and
because-
soul catching and purging the Morphling is a lot scarier than
Yeah,
that.
definitely. Morphlings, all stats, for the most part, Shadow Fiend and Weaver are just building plus damage. So.
Bimbo really going hard at this tower, and he will bring it down. Lincoln Sphere. Looks like they're throwing the Weaver Lincoln Sphere on him as well, so he's got the double Lincolns going.
Well, Scythe don't know that either. It's the Lincoln Sphere mind game. If you put
Your own on yourself, they don't see the cooldown.
Yeah, if Jay puts his own on himself, there's absolutely no way for Scythe to know if that's 2 Lincoln Spheres or just 1. So.
The only silly thing is when you see players put it on themselves and they only have 1 Lincoln Sphere, because then you know they can't put it on a teammate.
Then it just looks cool.
Yes, then it's just because it's a big glowing orb. Miracle diving for potential shotgun. I'm not going to find it. He's playing this well. I mean, this is Miracle, I wouldn't say comfortable, but doing the best they can. There's a waveform in, but good defensive disruption by Oa. I approve.
Yeah,
Don't fuck around with an E-blade, man.
I mean, there's no
It's
way.
like a loaded shotgun. You don't point that thing at yourself.
There's no way for him to know that Miracle doesn't have an extra 5 or 6 seconds left on the replicate and then blows him up and then replicates out. So I think that was a perfectly reasonable reaction from Oa there. But
Scythe are just so bottled up. Losing those early, you really see the advantage of the tree. Like, they lost the tier 1 bottom eventually. They still have a tier 1 up mid. We're 33 minutes in against Miracle Morphling. Tree, so strong if you... This is kind of like they used him effectively early with roaming, but this is really the second variant that Fear was talking about, which is you just keep your towers up, you have map control, you can choose your fights a lot more. You have a lot more options in terms of choosing your fights. And boy, a 12k net worth advantage. That is pretty significant. It feels like it's going to be that 5v1. Panda has 9k net worth, but how much is that really going to do for you when Shadow Fiend gets an MKB, a Satanic? Like, just right-click down the Panda form or ignore it.
yeah, it feels like almost the highest value play for the Brewmaster right now is kind of lifting the Centaur or the tree up into the air. And if that's what one of your core heroes is doing, you're just not
Miracle, he's been
accomplishing
caught out, but he does have a replicate online, I believe, and Waveform's out. He drops the shotgun, then he pieces. The chase is on the other side of the fight, though. Weaver diving deep. Sakuchi gets stolen. Oh, Miracle. Double. Well, Blanket initiation. That's an overgrowth on 3. They'll drop an Ancient Apparition hold. It only connects on 1. Then Centaur comes in, looks to bring down Chipmix. They do TP out the Ancient Apparition. That's just Miracle making plays, and he's already mid. He's taking down a tier 1 there as well. He's everywhere.
What a split push.
Miracle Dota.
Made space for himself.
Well, if they go on to win this, it is going to be the Miracle show. It's the only way.
It really has to be. He's got that Manta Cell up now, and like I was talking about, that's the exact item he needs to take these towers from full to nothing. So the Treant Protector factor is now a little bit diminished as far as this looks.
You get the extra damage instances from the illusions, and they attack fast.
Yeah. It's just so much more DPS overall as far as the towers are concerned.
Oh, these supports are not having fun. Time to build some BKBs.
3 bracer time.
Yeah. Yeah, forget about BKB. You're not farming anymore with the threat of these ganks.
But so Scythe, they're
Huh.
and the Lincoln Sphere. I think if it was just the Scotty, I would be like, okay, stats. Some people like it.
MKB Satanic feels way stronger than Lincoln Sphere Scotty this game.
Yeah, even if you're just feeling confident about how much of a BKB duration you have left, you can go crit, you can go more damage. Yes, you still got a secondary damage dealer in the Weaver, but I don't know. The Scotty is such a man-fight item, and I don't think Miracle's going to be offering you one this game. So.
And if you want a man fight,
convinced.
Satanic and
also good.
MKB is quite good at that as well, yeah. I don't know. They do still have the Aegis, so they'll take advantage of this now. Mineski going to take a tier 2 top. I think they'll get this, and if they want, they can defend bottom. But they're only trading maybe a tier 2 for nothing. It's not like a base race. They're not threatening high ground, and while pushing without the Aegis would be very risky. Mineski, are they going to go for it? Shadow Fiend does have BKB. He has the Scotty, but if he just gets caught out of position by a lift, doesn't get off his BKB in a timely fashion, could be bad 4 for them. They'll breach the base here, but 3 get caught by the Elder Titan Stomp. Nobody wanting to go in yet on Bimbo. The Aegis is about to expire. Indeed it will. Now Colossus comes in immediately. Jay unwinds the Requiem. Will bring down the Wind Panda quite low. We'll have a bit of lag here. Focusing the Fire Panda, but not healing up. Now he's in danger zone. He can't stick around. Miracle's still got shotgun. He's waiting this one out. The Weaver's dove into the base. He kills off the Ancient Apparition. He'll retreat back out, but the trade. The Centaur will fall, and now Now the Morphling's happy. No BKB on Shadow Fiend, not feeling so scary any longer. The overgrowth comes, but where's the follow-up? Bimbo gets disrupted. That'll dodge the Ancient Apparition ult, who bought back earlier in the fight. Stomp is going to come through on the Weaver. Diving Miracle, maybe he'll get the kill. No! The Magician makes his great escape and still alive, though. He's left Palos on an island. He will go down. Bimbo jams it in with a raise. Mineski punching back, but Miracle, he did replicate bottom. He's threatening to break base, muscling in towards high ground. I feel like Bimbo would be doing a lot more with a different item build. I gotta say that was underwhelming.
Man, Miracle turned up bottom lane at 300 HP, and Mineski was still like, look, this is Miracle. We're not going to even consider keeping everybody up here.
No, you don't go
and
for
racing
that
him
trade.
at all.
They also have living armor. Like they don't want to be giving up tier 3s.
Yeah, and it looks like
Did Weaver
just having
get
the Weaver
Dire
here
gem in that fight? Whose gem was
that? That is X-Freedom's gem.
Okay, so they also lost their gem. That's a pretty big loss.
Yeah, they threw a lot of Scythe threw a lot of resources into that fight, and as you pointed out, that was not a fight with Aegis for Jay there. So.
That was honestly a pretty risky play. Like that showed a lot of balls from Mineski. And now they've got a big item. It's a late one, but they have a pipe. I still am not... Well, I'm not going to rant on Bimbo anymore, but I don't know about this item build, man.
Yeah, it is... I find it a little bit strange. I don't know how he's gonna round it out. It has to be a damage item to finish. Otherwise, it's just
I feel like he has to go MKB now. Like, you can't go for Satanic.
No.
You have too many defensive items. You need to be hitting hard during BKB duration, because if you don't, when it ends, you'll just get shotgun, and you're not going to win the fight against Morph at that point. And these fights are not ending quickly for either team.
Yeah, and Miracle getting a little bit scarier, has his own Eye of Scotty online now, so some more stats for him to work around with. And Mineski, I mean, they have made up a lot of ground. Well, they have, you know, they're starting to close out the game. They're taking the tier 3 top, but Scythe still showing some signs of life, and smoke goes out.
On the high ground, will blink out in the nick of time. There was a clap, but it only hit air. Then the blink away comes from the Centaur as well. Mineski dodging that smoke nicely. Didn't have any vision of the smoke being used either. Just in the right place at the right time to spot it out.
Yeah, and we've got our arrow drawn.
Is this Mott drawing the arrow?
Yep.
Mott secretly rooting for Mineski here, giving them some strategy advice.
Come on, Mott, you gotta be on my side here.
Mott, if they win, you're gonna write Busian on the minimap, okay? B-U-S space Y-A-N. You can't mess it up. Got it.
Okay, we got it. Okay, so Miracle, he's in split push position. He's got 30 seconds.
They could lose
this
Pulse on
replicate.
mid. If they lose the Panda here. I don't know if these two can kill him alone, though. They'll need one damage dealer to do it. And the Siege comes top. Comes the Elder Titan Spirit. The Stomp will connect on Bimbo. The Linked Sphere. Pinoy Sphere number 2 deployed, and all should be okay. Pops the BKB right as Plus on blinks in. He's breaking base, but so too is Miracle trying to do the same bottom lane. Dire top range and melee both fall, but now they need to get the hell out of dodge. Miracle threatening the racks of Mineski as well. The Stomp's there to slow him down, but he's not going to give up this easy. Pipe thrown out by Just Evash. Miracle eyes on the prize. Weaver will arrive, but it's not quick enough. He's too tanky. The Weaver can't do it alone, and they're still chasing out the Shadow Demon. He's going to drop top lane, and once again, rolling cheers. The Malaysian rooting for the Singaporean team here as they take down lane Rex. Great trade for Scythe.
Yeah, with the situation that they're in, Scythe getting away with that trade is huge. I mean, Mineski still have tier 2s up on the other 2 lanes, so they have another line of defense as far as progressing this game is concerned. But yeah, Scythe are not going to win a full-on team fight, so Miracle playing like this is, like we've been talking about for the whole game, this is exactly how, if Scythe are going to win, it's going to happen.
And especially after, they could have won other ways if the laning stage went well.
Yes.
But once it didn't, it was kind of, this was their big chance, and they're executing.
Roshan.
And Mineski, I feel like Mineski will have the edge in the pit if they get a decent overgrowth Centaur stomp, but Roche ain't going to be here for too long. They'll rotate their way in. Miracle doesn't have a replicate up top lane, so there won't be a threat for him to split push. Looks like they'll actually take the fight head on. Just Evash's smoke, Roche dropping low. They've got to make their move soon. They'll pop the Centaur. The Centaur jumps into the pit. He stomps, but it looks like it caught nothing. Overgrowth, that'll catch a few, but Hana just pops BKB, stays calm under pressure. Radiant gets the Roche kill. The Aegis still on the deck. It's snatched by Miracle. He will bring down one. Shadow Fiend popping the BKB as Miracle. He waves, but he doesn't make it out of the pit. Now he's caught. He's got this Aegis, but can he actually fight his way out? He shotguns down another. The raises are available. One whiff by Bimbo. Miracle making the great escape now. And it looks like he will get out with the Aegis. So in the end, a 3 for 2, but Scythe They take the Aegis, more important than the Roche kill at this stage, and they've got to be also happy with that.
Yeah, and the Aegis is still up as well, so Scythe again just getting away with trades that I don't think they should really be able to.
He does have a Hex here on Bimbo. This could be the big item. No. Oh, couldn't get it off.
How many ultimate orbs
Wait, what
can
actually
one
broke
man
the
build?
Lincolns there? Did something break it? The Morphling Lincolns? Did he still have it online? Or? I think it got broke. No, never mind. Might have been the Shadow Fiends. My eyes doth deceive me.
Too many
Try and
Lincoln
siege
Spears.
this one, but they're fighting into an Aegis, potential buybacks as well. This is a very risky move by Mineski. They'll get shotgun down. They lose their Weaver. What are they thinking? There's no Centaur here. They're fighting with just the 2 carries, and now Miracle smells blood in the water. He's on the chase. Mineski, it's that sloppy late game decision making. There was no need to push high ground there. Those heroes were respawning very soon.
Yeah, this is...
Like they just, like you mentioned, like they're playing it deliberate and calm.
They were.
And then it's like you jinx them.
They were.
You put the jinx on, Cameron.
Well,
you don't want to have your shot of monster.
No.
And all of a sudden they just start crumbling. What the hell, man?
Well,
no, this has always been the story of Mineski.
This is the Achilles heel of Mineski. Just how things play out in the late game. And it's just the thing is the way that Miracle plays as well just doesn't necessarily it's not necessarily conventional like late game Dota logic. He realizes, okay, look, I can just hit their base as hard as they can hit my base, and then that's fine. That's all we need. The gold deficit doesn't really matter at the moment. And Mineski, I think at a couple of moments they felt like, oh hey, look, surely we push faster than the Morphling. We must. Like we have these 2 cores. Things are going well. We'll take their racks. We'll get back. We'll stop the Morphling. Things will be okay. Their expectations get defied. Miracle makes the trade, and now things are just...
And they just blew a glyph to defend a tier 2. And that means the next time the Miracle pushes the next 5-6 minutes...
Nobody's stopping it.
Easy high ground. Where's the reaction? There's no TP. Centaur will start it off with his ultimate. I believe there's still a replica online. Miracle should be okay to make it out of here. And DD, well, they almost lost the tower. They does stay alive. They can living armor it up, but...
BOT Morphling.
They need BOTs on something. Like, Shadow Fiend is walking around without a TP, and he is honestly the only one that could push Miracle back at this point, and he can't even do it alone. The build he's gone for, he needs a teammate to lock him down. They are on the brink of just falling apart to Miracle Dota.
Yeah,
one more bad engagement, that's probably a lane of Rex, and then the game's over.
I just don't really agree with any of the ultimate orb items on the Shadow Fiend.
And especially the whole, like the Hex to me is, that would have been fine if he had gone for some damage first. Like you got MKB, maybe Satanic Demand Fight, and then if you want to go back for a Hex, okay, but you Hex him, I don't know if he can kill him even while he's Hexed.
Yeah, I think the Hex is maybe the least offensive of the 3.
The Lincoln Sphere to me makes like almost 0 sense. Like, what are you blocking that's so scary on Scythe? They lift you, they're not going to kill you during lift, then you just BKB and you right-click, and if you have a Satanic, there's Ancient Apparition ult, but let's be honest, this Ancient Apparition is running for his life, not calmly hitting you with his ult in most fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice against a couple of spells on Scythe, and it also means that once this BKB duration starts to run low, there's, it helps fill the gap a little bit there, but at the same time, I feel like you could have just gone for damage and replaced it with a, got a second BKB later on.
And Miracle doing his thing. He'll clean up the range rack spot up. He'll shotgun the Shadow Demon again. He's making it look easy, then Replicate's out. He's just running reins around the Mineski. And this has to be frustrating for them. After the start they had, it's coming apart.
Like, we won this game, guys. We're up 15k gold. We're up 15k experience. We can't stop Miracle, and that's exactly the storyline. Scythe, they managed to buy enough time for Miracle to get into the position that he's in, and now he's just putting the team on his back.
Yeah, he really is. And the Shadow Demon, in theory, nice against Morphling, but when he's
getting blown up,
when he's getting blown up this much, you're not disrupting him. You're not dropping Soul Catcher. You're just dying.
Yeah,
What is Mineski's play? They don't really push fast enough.
You gotta wait at the edges first.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And then, like you said, I think they need BOTs on somebody who can capably fight the Morphling, and then you can start having that BOT hero camping out the one lane and go from there. But only 1 minute left on the Aegis, so Scythe's not going to have as much breathing room, but this Aegis is just doing so much for
We'll start off with a Stomp of Miracle and the double-edged follow-up. The Hex is here. This might be enough, but remember, he does have Aegis still. Now the Centaur, the panel gets deployed. Centaur ult used to help cause the retreat. They'll blow up the pandas. They may kill off the Earth Panda as well. Earth Splitter deployed. They'll bring down Panda. Now the TP out comes. Scythe, they sound the retreat, and they'll lose only a Panda. Ult was deployed, but when Scythe are winning fights, they're taking racks. And, well, Miracle's actually sticking around. Aegis is running out soon. Yeah, he'll make it out. 25 seconds. So I think he wanted it to pop and then get out, but either way, he's fine.
Yeah, and again, just Miracle knowing exactly how much of a risk he's in at any given time.
What are these double damage runes though? Like, come on.
Okay, that's a little bit silly.
That RNG.
Yeah, and he's gonna get healed back up by the Aegis fading, so
wow.
And he can push creeps in through the bottom lane.
This is honestly this is pretty damn lucky for Miracle. Getting a double damage rune, he can easily keep up with their split push and force Mineski to back, whereas otherwise, with no Panda ult, maybe Mineski could have traded. I don't know if Miracle could backdoor the tier 3 without a DD in time, but with the DD, they won't be able to fight this. Okay, so they're going to have to back.
This needs to be perfect coordination for Mineski. They need to pop the Lincolns immediately and then get the disruption out.
They have spotted him out, and Miracle just running Ranger at them. The double edge will proc the Lincoln Sphere. Now they're going to purge him. Actually not a bad way to go about it. Then the Scythe comes in. Miracle, no Aegis. Has he finally overextended? He gets blown up! But he does have a buyback, I believe. Yeah. Miracle, very disciplined about maintaining buybacks in these scenarios. So a very nice kill for Mineski, but again, it's not going to translate into objectives. Towers are not going to die from this. Racks will not fall. If they can get another kill like that, then they might have their opening.
Yeah, so the Hex, they're really paying off for Jay, and they stop him, but they also stop their own push.
You do see the Shadow Demon really match up well against Warfleet if he gets to play offense. If he's on defense, he just feeds, but... that did a lot of work. The Purge as well as the Soul Catcher.
Yeah, things are a little bit more awkward for Miracle because he doesn't want to race through top lane because there's still a tier 2 there, and it's completely raxed out, so it's going to take him a lot longer to push there. He can't really push mid lane because that's Mineski's primary angle of attack, and that means the only thing he can really do, as we've been seeing, is push bottom lane through with the momentum from his creep wave, and then try and switch over towards mid, which just takes that little bit of extra time and gives Mineski more opportunities to get set up. So that is proving to be a bit of a problem at this point in the game. And
but Mineski are showing some indecision here. They could have just forced the fight bottom, try and break the base. They could have just gone mid to start, but they try and push both lanes in first, and in doing so, I think they've spared Miracle the buyback, so he'll have 2 lives for this fight. I'm not sure if getting both lanes pushed in was worth it. So Stomp will come in. That's going to stall more. 9 seconds to go. Centaur ult now deployed. They'll make their move in, but they airball the Stomp. They've got to back now. They can't stick around for this with Miracle respawning. It's so risky. Are they going to do it? Are they really going to? They'll try and take the mid lane of Rax. Miracle, he's back online. H-App Rishal comes in. The Stomp is there. BKB still get dropped. Panda off cooldown. And they'll try and focus Jay. BKB is available. And now it's going to wear off fairly quickly. Working on the Earth Panda, but not doing a whole lot. They'll finally get the kill on the Brewmaster. The Treant Protector will fall as well. It's a 1-for-1 exchange, but now they lose the Shadow Fiend. He buys back instantly, and he TPs back in, but they kill off the creep. So prepared for these late game scenarios, and now Oa on the run. It's going to be potentially 4 heroes dead with the double buyback. Yeah, it will be the death of the Shadow Demon. Down Oa will go. Tries the disruption, makes his retreat. He does get a kill on the Elder Titan, but well worth it. Miracle actually losing his focus in this chase, but still Oa. Just stalling. Nice job stalling, but does go down in the end. So, Miracle still sitting on buyback after all that. And 7.8k gold.
Yeah, and
are they really going down mid again?
Yeah, they're just taking everybody that they have and
there's still
heading straight down
There's still
mid.
2 lives on this hero. I don't know.
There is no glyph.
There is no glyph, that's true. If they die here, though, if Bimbo gets blown up, I don't know if he has BKB. It actually has come off cooldown. So he'll muscle down the racks, but now he's got to get out. He has Boots of Travel on cooldown. If Bimbo goes down again, he's going to be dead for ages. It's the Centaur trying to save him. Jesse Vash doing everything he can, and he saved Bimbo's life. Clutch plays, but still the Boots of Travel cooldown. Oh, he'll get out. Jesse Vash saving the game. If they lose Shadow Fiend there, that is game for sure.
That was so well played by Jesse. And
he's really been the most stable presence on this team. Bimbo prone to overextending at times, and well, Jesse Vash the one that dared to bail him out at the 11th hour.
Yeah, that's so interesting to say as well, because I really felt that, a few months ago when they first added Jesse to the roster, that he was by far the least consistent player, and that he didn't look like a super promising addition to the team, but he's been there, he's been on the roster now for a while, and he has really, really stepped up his game.
He's just solid. Like, Jesse Vash is not an explosive offlaner. He's not like Funnick where he'll just suddenly go off on you and get 3-4 kills, but he's more just the guy that generally doesn't make many late game mistakes. And that's important to have for a team that's got some hotheads, which, let's be honest, Mineski definitely does.
Yeah, he's definitely found his own style much better now than when he first joined the team. I think initially he got a little bit caught up in the, it's like that mentality that you were talking about of being really aggressive and always pushing things to the very limit, which is kind of what characterizes some of the other Mineski cores. But yeah, he's just realized stable play can do it just fine for this team, and he's really showing it off this game.
So, Baseskip, I don't know if you've actually seen the new Shadow Demon eggs in action, but it has been picked up.
Okay.
You got the double purge. Thoughts? Do you think it'll be effective this game?
I'm not that convinced, personally. But we'll see.
That is a BKB against the shotgun Morphlane that he's opted to skip. They do have an invis rune on Jesse. Oh, this could be perfect. This could be great. They'll find Miracle. In comes the Panda, but they just want to focus him down. He's slowed down. He waveforms out. He doesn't actually have a replicate up, it looks like, and now Panda will pay. Most likely the Brewlings go down. This will be another Panda ult. Well, not wasted. Oh, actually, he got the Wind Panda out. Oh, he'll live.
Shouldn't have killed the Earth Panda.
Yeah. Should have just followed it and let him respawn there. I think they thought they had killed it or were about to, and just Wind walked out.
Probably just lost track of it in the midst of the fight.
Do they still have a gem also? They may have lost it after that last engagement. Yeah, they don't have the gem anymore. Chibik's got it back. But yeah, in retrospect, if they let the Earth Panda live, he'll respawn there and they can just kill him.
But yeah, it's as far as that play is concerned, you've probably got one of the core damage dealers who's just convinced that the Storm Panda's already died since it wind walked away on a sliver of HP. So I don't think you can criticize Mineski too much.
No, I don't think so.
But Scythe, they just barely get away with Miracle's Scythe there, and I wonder if there's going to come a point where he considers. I don't even know how he can make space for a BKB here, and Mineski just hunting him ruthlessly. Miracle says hello to Jay, just waiting in the trees.
Is the question. He'll start off with a stomp. He does have a replicate online. Gets forced that forward by X-Freedom. Still he's hexed. They'll unwind a Requiem. It's not enough damage just yet. Miracle gets disrupted as well. They've got another Purge here, I believe, but a waveform out. The BKB on the Shadow Fiend deployed. They overgrowth him, and then he's gone.
Why did they disrupt him?
I don't know, man. I don't think they're killing him anyway, to be honest. They already used all their stuns. The Hex had been used up as well, but it was a bit of a curious play.
Yeah, that was a little bit odd.
And they used both Purges? How much mana is Purge? Can you actually... 200? Yeah, okay. He can pretty easily afford that.
Yeah, I just think this Shadow Fiend really wishes he had a little bit more damage. I think a damage item in place of this Lincoln Sphere would be doing a lot.
I guess the good news is Bimbo has farmed so well this game that soon he can replace items. He can basically go full CTY mode here and just start experimenting, you know?
The CTY Doom.
The CTY Anti-Mage, where he sold Battle Fury, he bought Abyssal Blade, then he sold the Abyssal Blade, bought a Battle Fury, and it was like a mad scientist tinkering.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember a Doom game. I don't know if it was necessarily CTY, but it was like Battle Fury, Hex.
Battle Fury?
There was all kinds of weird items going back and forth.
Maybe like against Mega Creeps or something.
Yeah, he was just like, he couldn't decide what he wanted. But anyway, so Mineski, they do manage to pop in over towards Roshan. I picked up.
Okay. Siege Tank Shadow Fiend. This was last seen. This was last seen, to the best of my knowledge, in the G1 League season. I think it was the first G1 League, the one before they had Western teams, or maybe, yeah, it was the one before they had Western teams. EG played in an online qualifier with SEA teams, and Fear was playing Shadow Fiend on the dire side against Famofu's Throws fan club.
FTFC.
Yeah, and he literally waltzed down mid with a rapier, no boots, and just A-clicked his way to the enemy throne. He died. Famofu walked past the rapier as like a 6-slotted anti-mage. He could have picked up the rapier, won the game because Fear had no buyback, and well, that was the last time we saw the Siege Tank Shadow Fiend.
Famofu, that's that's Oz Dota right there.
Yeah. He does have buyback and then could pick up some boots after that, so it's not the end of the world. But it's just mobility is very important in a rat Dota situation.
Yeah, he's actually, he gave the boots to the Treant, who put them on the Courier, and now he's swapped them for the Lincoln Sphere. So he's got his BOT.
The Lincoln Sphere is okay, but yeah, well, he's
gonna swap it again. Why not? He's where he needs to be. He's mid lane.
Yeah, so. That's kind of cute. Now the problem is if the Courier gets found and he's lost his boots of travel, or so honestly, to me, the boots of travel are more important than the Lincoln Sphere at this point.
I'm really surprised that Scythe are actually the ones who are like, hey, we're here at mid lane, we're pushing his 5.
Into the Aegis as well.
Yeah.
Like, they're so much more comfortable just outmaneuvering Mineski. Well, there might be an engagement here near the Ancients. In comes ACXC to start it off. He'll get spotted out. The stomp comes, but Miracle, he tries to Manta dodge and he gets caught. Then the overgrowth. This is X Freedom dead for sure. Will anyone else fall? He tries to steal something now. Miracle retreating out a bit. That's a nice air splitter. Catches out 4. Then they layer it up with a Panda ult. And Bimbo just gets focused. He doesn't get off the BKB. Still has Aegis. He'll come back. Can drop the Requiem BKB combo, but Scythe can just look to kite it. Or Kende. There's your Requiem. Unwinds it. Brings them all down to about half, but hasn't killed anyone off yet. Miracle standing strong. Waves it back in. He tries to make a fancy little move, showing off that footwork. Doesn't have the combo. Then the Purge onto Miracle. He retreats out to the Replicant at top lane. They lose the Shadow Fiend. I think he's got buyback if he wants it. 6k gold. It's a bloodbath. He'll go for the buyback. Now they lose the H apparition. It's 4 heroes dead. Miracle, did he explode the poison top lane? Or a Purge, I'm not sure, but down he goes. Miracle does a buyback. Palasan does not. Looking at the teams, there's only 1 buyback on Scythe. It's a triple kill for Awa. Mineski, I think they're going to do it. It's all up to Miracle, unless he can throne it. All hope is lost.
So Jesse just stopped the BOTs. Miracle tried to BOT to bottom lane, but he didn't BOT onto the siege creep. He BOT'd onto a normal creep and it died at double edge. So he can't race it.
We hyped up his late game decision, making a slight misplay. This could be everything for Mineski. They might just upset Scythe here. The Rubik's back in the fight, but who cares about him? Well, I don't know if Bimbo could do this on his own. He needs a little help from his team. Where are your friends when you need them? Maybe he can hold them off just by himself. The creeps are coming in top. As soon as they do, they'll go back in on bottom lane, but do they do it fast enough? They've got to be careful. No BKB on Shadow Fiend. No buyback either. They'll disrupt him, and oh no, they'll disrupt the Weaver. He'll be the one who tries to break high ground. Weaver does have a buyback, and he's got the time lapse. This is going to be the 3rd lane of Rax. Now, Miracle's will truly be tested. He'll be up against Mega Creeps here. ASXC dropping low. Still alive, though. He doesn't time lapse in time. He had BKB as well. He takes all the extra damage, then he shatters. He can buy back, but both teams choking a bit in the late game.
Yeah, this is... I don't even know if TPing bottom lane would have been the right decision for Miracle. There was still glyphs available for Mineski, and they've still got the Centaur they've still got the Centaur waiting for him there to at least impede things a little bit. So I think, I almost feel that was the best case scenario for him, that he just stood his ground and had to try and fight it out, because apparently Mineski can't take him on.
Who are your rares on right now, man? I have no idea at this point for me. There's a Shadow Fiend's illusion sieging bottom lane, but backdoor protection here gonna stop it. Buyback scenario, there's 3 on the Radiant, 0 on the Dire, both 1 position players, no buyback available. If either goes down and they're not able to base trade, they probably lose this one. And in the end, as it so often does with Scythe games, it may come down to a base race. The Shadow Fiend illusion, finally the creeps arrived, almost managed to bring in the range racks. They'll buy back the Weaver here. Oh, that costly failure to use BKB, and in they go. Centaur gets stolen. Oh, X Freedom making the plays now. This could be a difference maker as Miracle starts diving, hunting Oa, who's been the bane of his existence in these recent fights. Now Oa gets caught. He gets focused by Miracle. He does a buyback available. ASXC trying to do his own thing here. Geo has the ult available. It could come to a base race as the TPN goes. Bimbo's trying to out Miracle. Miracle, can anyone come back to defend against this? He's brought down the tier 4. Radiant base. The tier 4s are alive. The Miracle's dead for 120 seconds. Nobody can stand against Bimbo. Mineski are doing it. Boost Yan. GG. Scythe has fallen yet again.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Double kill. Radiant victory.
Oh,
no words.
Lord. I'm speechless. What an
no
end
words.
to that game.
So many mistakes from both teams.
So many mistakes.
So cannot emphasize enough how many mistakes were made. But it's if we had said coming into this game, base Kip, both teams are going to make a shitload of mistakes and it's going to go late game, I would have said 99 times out of 100, my rares, my money, it's on Scythe, not on Mineski.
Yeah, this was
the 1 of 100 for me.
Just the BOTs and the TP canceling and all of that late game shenanigans was absolutely fantastic to watch. Like you said, plenty of mistakes, but
Crikey.
that was a stressful game. Oh, man.
The Mineski contingent on force. Somebody's doing a shot of Monster.
Oh, well. I'll stick with my boys.
That's my boys. I love it. Oh I God. Honestly, what a qualifiers we're having.
I was rooting for Mineski, but I did not expect that. Not at all.
Oh,
I didn't believe.
LD, I'm glad we came out in full force today. We got something to cheer for.
So where does this leave us? Scythe they had
I don't know.
you guys mentioned
Two
just like
losses now, like-
a very poor draft against First Departure that cost them a game.
Yeah.
This game, just bad laning stage and then late game decision making being questionable.
I think
That's a lot.
drafting
Of,
also not that great this
Yeah.
game, personally.
Yeah, the draft
Jay
seemed a
tried
little
his
shaky.
best to throw that game. That was like TI3 honey deja vu moment where you're just building the worst items possible in Shadow Fiend.
I did like the Scythe though. The
need
Scythe
more
was a
ultimate
really
orbs.
good item pickup. The other two were just
Well, yeah, I think the Scythe was okay, but
Scythe
I
was
think if
good.
you replace Skadi, Lincolns, and Scythe with MKB, Daedalus, Satanic, you win the game right there, easy peasy. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a Satanic plus Daedalus or MKB, ideally both, which is where you probably don't want the Scythe, game's easy. Like, that was just...
There was an Ancient Apparition, so you could somewhat argue about the Satanic, but
Yeah.
still, Ancient Apparition
Well,
was not hitting many
you
good
get hit by
ults.
the Ice Blast, you just Satanic after you live it off, because you go
That's
to
true.
BKB. You survive the Ice Blast with BKB, then you Satanic afterwards. He could have
Agreed.
rebought a BKB. That would have also been
Yeah.
probably a good idea, that game. But
Do you believe in miracles? Mineski.
I don't believe in Miracle, I'll tell you that.
That was.
There you go.
I don't know. It is a Miracle thing, but yeah, it was not enough in the end.
Mineski was my dark horse pick to finish top 4, but I don't know. I don't know if I trust them even after this win.
Right.
They have more to prove.
They've only lost to Orange. They've taken games off Zephyr and now Scythe. So
That was.
Zephyr, a team that they should just, which they did, they should just run over if they want to be considered a serious
Yeah.
contender. Nothing against Zephyr, but they're not looking like the strongest team right now.
I think that was a fairly convincing game for them, just especially the early game from Gio and Oa. Like I said, showing off their experience as support players and as a support duo. I think probably would have played out similarly had it been a slightly more even start, but it definitely helped Mineski, and it definitely helped tide them over through a little bit of that sloppiness in the mid game.
For me, Jesse Vash MVP. If
man.
Yeah.
if
The
Bimbo
guy's a
goes
boss.
down there after the
Yeah.
buyback mid lane, the game's over because they can just go straight down mid. They have no Shadow Fiend, and without Shadow Fiend,
Yeah.
they could not have stopped the Morph
Yep.
lane. Jesse Vash bailed them out so hard.
That stomp. Yeah, that was a really nice
it's been
one.
that way for a bit now, though. Jesse Vash has been saving their ass time and time again.
He really has.
Bimbo's just been trying his best to throw as many games as possible, and Jesse Vash is like, no, you're not throwing today. It's like the old EG where like Demon's trying to throw every game, and Fear's like, nah, not letting you throw.
I got this one, buddy.
Yeah.
Give him the finger.
But eventually,
Get
if
in
you
my
throw
backpack.
enough, you'll overwhelm even his defenses.
we'll
Well, guys, with that being said, you've been watching the International 4 Southeast Asia Qualifiers. We've got a ton of awesome Dota coming up. You can check out all 4 streams live here from the Beyond the Summit house at beyondthesummit.tv. We've got High Ground TV here, D2L, as well as Dota Cinema. The D2L guys take a bit of a breather, but they'll be back in full force tomorrow. All this coverage presented by Monster. We've got tons more awesome Dota coming up, so
Scythe versus Myth coming up next.
great. So stay tuned for that.